but at what cost? More money, less peace, more titles, less time, more applause, less purpose. There has to be a better way. We were never made to live in pieces. We were created to live whole. Build a whole life, not just one part. Purpose before progress. God at the center, step after step, day after day. This is the life we were made to live. Build a whole life, not just one part. Succeed at everything without sacrificing what matters most. A strong career needs a strong life. A growing future needs a growing heart. Where the center is strong, everything becomes stronger. No more choosing between success and significance. We can build, build a whole life, not just one part. Purpose before progress. God at the center, step after step, day after day. This is the life we were made to live. Build a whole life, not just one part. Succeed at everything without sacrificing what matters most. One life, one purpose, one God.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? I trust we're all doing good. Welcome to the Success Driver Summit. Right, I'm pretty sure we are ready with our notepads, our pen, and our energy, because we need energy in this room today. And I'm so happy to have everyone here today. I've already put a prompt on the group chat. So I want us to, of course, put in the group chat which country or city you're actually joining us from, especially those that we didn't get to meet in the group chat. So please, you can put it in the chat box. Just tell us where you're joining us from. So I can see Darasimi. Darasimi, lovely to meet you. She's joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, Darasimi, lovely to meet you. So others, please put your location, where you're calling from, in the chat box as we prepare to start now. As we are doing that, I just, want to, pump up the energy in the room. I have a question, right? And I really want everyone to respond. It's a very simple question. It's a very easy question that I feel like everyone can answer. So my question is, when you hear the word success, right? I'm pretty sure we've all, I want to be successful, I want to maybe have someone you admire, maybe like someone like Tony Elumelu, right? I want to be successful as Tony Elumelu, right? So when you hear the word success, what does that, mean to you? What is success? And in just one word. So when someone says someone is successful, what does that mean to you? Of course, you can unmute and share, but you can also put that in the chat box. So I want to start receiving answers. What does, success mean to you as a person? So of course you can, share verbally, or you can put it in the chat box. All right, coming in, I'm seeing Opara Williams also from Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, Williams, nice to meet you. Okay, we have a response from Darasimi. Yes, success means achieving all that you set your mind at completely and feeling fulfilled. Oh, I love that response. I love that response. Yes, feeling fulfilled. I think it's a very, very beautiful definition of success. Thank you so much for sharing, Darasimi. Mr. Tijani. Okay, he's joining us from Otago State. Oh, lovely. Nice to meet you, Mr. Tijani. Thank you for joining the Success Driver Summit 2026. Okay, we have another response from Chibuke. To him, success means, of course, being happy, peace of mind, and the ability to afford all your needs. Yes, that's actually a very, very, very beautiful definition of success, right? Thank you so much for sharing. Really loving these definitions of success. So from Emmanuel Ogundipe, he said, success is working towards a goal and achieving the set goal. That is actually a very, very beautiful definition of success. Yeah, because smashing your goals, it means that you have succeeded at something that you put and set your mind to do. We have another definition of success. Success means to him, success to me means living purposefully. That one is very deep. Success means living purposefully. So once your life has purpose and a sense of direction, which, to be very honest, is what this summit is about, right? To be able to fulfill our purpose in every area of life, to make sure that no particular area is lacking. So it's actually a very, very significant definition of success. So thank you so much for sharing. Of course, we still want to get more responses because I know there are a number of people in the room. So please share in your definition of success and where you are joining us from, right? Where you're joining us from. I'm actually particularly excited for the session, and I'm sure everyone else here is excited. So let's take 2 more responses from others, and then we can officially start. So 2 responses, I'm waiting for you. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Tijani. Success is attainment of desired goal. Beautiful, very, very beautiful. Daniel said, success is actualizing set goals and managing the after effects. And he said, love from Jos. Oh, nice to meet you. Love from Jos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the last one I'll be taking, okay, he said, to me, success is living out God's plan for you fully. I think that's just a beautiful way to sum it up, because one of the things that Dr. Abraham will be talking about is, the center of every area of our life, which is God, right? He's the hub. I'm pretty sure those of us that joined the group chat very early, must have seen that post. God is the center of every single thing that we set out to achieve in any area of life, be it our career, be it our relationships. God is at the center of everything. So right about now, I will be welcoming the one and only Dr. Abraham Owoseni for the Success Driver Summit 2026. Please let's put our hands together for him.
Yeah, thank you very much, Praise, and good day, everyone. Thank you, Praise, for all the great work. Praise has been, engaging and keeping us abreast to what this summit is about. I think the last time we had the Success Driver Summit was 2024. I don't know how many persons were in that edition. I see a few faces in the room. I'm not sure if we're going to have this next year, right? Again, we work based on instructions, right? And I just want to specially welcome every single one in the room. This is not coincidence that you are here right now at this moment, this session, that you heard about it, that you took the bold step to join in. There's no coincidence in the journey of life, and I'm so excited that you're here, right? I'm just going to dive into the conversation, and I just like to indulge you. If you really know somebody you care so much for, maybe a very dear friend, family, colleague who is like a very close buddy to you, right? You shouldn't be succeeding and the person is not, right? Please share this live link with them to join us right now. In next 2 minutes, I'll begin and hit the road running, so they can just join us right about now, right? It's in the WhatsApp community. Just pick that up, put it in your groups, put it in your statuses and stories. Let's make everyone win together, right? So I'm going to begin by walking us through something. I know maybe when some of us saw the registration, or when you saw the detail about the summit, maybe it sounded ambitious. How can a person succeed at everything without sacrificing anything, right? But I'm going to show you and walk you through that it's not only possible, that's actually the original design, right? It's not only possible that you're going to succeed at everything without sacrificing anything. That is how it's meant to be. So it means that if our success is now currently skewed, that means that's not how it was meant to be. So this is going to be that bone of contention we're going to really break through, right? So it's not about information on becoming more successful and all that, generic, narrative out there. The conversation we're having is about learning how to build success differently, right? And I want to thank everyone who shared while Praise asked that question. Those comments were beautiful. Darasimi, Tijani, Daniel, Emmanuel, every single one. Thanks for those thoughts you shared, right? So we're thinking about how do we build success differently? Is there another model to it that we don't know or that is not common, right? Or is it that few people know this model and it's not commonplace? So how come not everybody is achieving everything, and most times people who are achieving are sacrificing, some other things, right? That's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to let you also know that as we go through this experience, you're going to be one of the first people who will get a gift, a benefit for being live on the call today. We are unveiling a new proprietary tool we call Life Harmony Diagnostic, right? It's newly built, and I'll be giving you first access today for free, right? And so this is going to be my gift to you, one of my first benefits to you for being part of this experience live. So stay till the end. I will share with you how you could get this. And before you go to bed tonight, I recommend you run this diagnostic, right? It's going to give you your personalized report and send it to your email. Digest it. That's a journey and a way to begin, right? And the second benefit is for everyone also who stays to the end. I'm going to be gifting a 40% scholarship to join the cohort 4 of our 360-degree success system, right? And that's going to be really mouth-watering, and only for those who are really live on the call today, right? So if you currently are maybe multitasking, I know people do that in virtual sessions. Let me try to do 3 things. You're cooking beans and then you're also here. Well, this session is not like that one. You won't get the value from this, and perhaps your beans can also get burnt. So try to delegate that in the next 1 minute. Let people know you're in an experience here, right? Be present, right? That way, mute any distraction and just come into a corner where you can eliminate distraction, right? I'm sure you also have your notes with you to document your actions from this experience and try to also engage. I'm going to be sharing a couple of prompts as we go on in this conversation, right? So I'd like to also see your own thoughts, right? I believe that the next few minutes we're going to spend on this call could be one of your best investments this year. Without missing words, right? And that will happen if you commit to it as well, right? It's not a one-way thing, it's that double-way thing. So quick one, who am I really, and why should you listen to me, right? Maybe if you're just coming to encounter me and my work, beyond my name and my credentials and all that bit, I think what much more emphasizing is the fact that I've had the privilege working with diverse people, executives who are admired at work, but they are lonely at home. I've coached entrepreneurs who built impressive businesses, but they lost other areas of their lives in the process, right? And across all of it, I've seen one pattern that keeps repeating, right? Across different people I've gotten to work with, who have gone through our programs, right? They came in with one framework. They came in with one template, which is what they got from, maybe social media, the culture, but they left with another framework, another way of thinking, right? And that's that way that they can build a whole life. I mean, all my works, more than 15 years, it's been about one single message: wholesome living, holistic growth, all-around success. That's been my core message, and that's been the outcome of everyone who's gone part my work, right? So I see my own impact beyond the credentials and the expressions of public success to much more the impact I've had in over 60,000 plus lives, right? I think that's more weighty an impact, right? If you love to read more of my profile, my website will definitely do justice to that. But I'm just going to dive into the conversation and we just begin much more. One question that changed everything, for me, because I have a very strong background in architecture, right? And from years of studying buildings, I saw one simple truth, and I started to ask myself, buildings don't happen by accident. No, you can't just wake up on your street and find that one building just rose up in overnight. Buildings don't happen by accident. They are designed. And it also dawns on me that if that's the case as well, if buildings require architecture, why wouldn't life? And from the little biology we learned in school, we learned on 2 categories of things. One was called living things. The other was called non-living things. So if buildings that are non-living things were carefully designed, carefully planned, how much more we that are living, that means we can't live by accident as well. We shouldn't live by accident. So we're not going to flourish by accident. We're not going to achieve and succeed in everything by accident. There's such a thing as an intentional design that helps a person to succeed in everything without sacrificing anything, right? And I want to show you what that design looks like. So follow through with me. Look at this. When a great design, when an architect begins, to design a facility, right? The architect doesn't just begin by drawing beautiful lines and all that. No, they begin by asking one question. Look at what they ask. They begin to ask things like, okay, what is this building meant to accomplish? So once they get that purpose, as it were, what is this building meant to achieve? Everything else flows through that. So for instance, if the building is an hospital, they don't design the hospital the same way with a school or with a hotel or with a church or with an airport, because what they are meant to achieve is different. So the question I want to ask you right now is, what do you think also should determine the design of your life? So in the field of architecture, we learned that purpose determines the design. Eventually, once the purpose of that thing is known, of that building is known, and then the design begins. So for instance, if it's an hospital facility, the purpose is to bring care and healing. If it's a school facility, the purpose is to bring education. If it's a church, the purpose is to bring worship. If it's an airport, the purpose is to help with transit. The purpose determines the design. The next question is, if purpose is to determine the design of buildings, what should determine also the design of our lives? What do you think should determine the design of our lives? I think it's the purpose of our lives as well. Right now, again, one of the old models we were given was that we were meant to choose. That was the old template that we were handed over to, right? So you as a person today, you were parented, right? Is that so? Your parents handed some mental models to you, whether you knew it or not. Now you also are handing some models to your children, and that's how it's been going on. We were given some models. Part of the models we were given to was what? One, they said, we have to choose. And I remember when I was in school as well, the only success I knew then was academic success, and people made it a thing. You even go, they write things about it. You ask, you write it in your goals. Oh, this term, this semester, I want academic success. That was the only success we knew. When we left from school, they start to tell us that there's another form of success. It's career success. And so we started to chase that as well. And so we felt, oh, I didn't need academic success again. This is the one to chase. And then they say, oh, well, this career success should yield to financial success. So we start to chase that one. Oh, they now call it Ozu. Okay, let me chase financial success. Oh, they say, okay, now it's marital success. Chase marital success. So the model we were handed over was just about choosing one at a time. What if I tell you today that you don't have to choose? You don't have to choose one area. You can build a life where every area succeeds. That's what I call all-round success. You don't have to choose. So you can always still have academic success. You can still have career success. You can still have marital success. You can have all. You don't have to choose one at the expense of another. Another deception that was handed over to us is what we call later. So people normalized later. And how does that operationalize in today's world? You see people, they start to postpone life, right? And later quietly becomes 5 years, 10 years. I remember asking somebody one time, I asked him, a guy, I said, when are you planning on getting married? He said, he doesn't know. That it's not on his radar, that he wants to make money now. You see, he was working with the old model. The old model was that, who told him that he couldn't make money and also get married at the same time? You see now, those were the models we were handed to. Some say, oh, well, when are you going to start the business? Oh, well, once I have capital. Once things become stable. Oh, once I resign. Oh, and 1 year becomes 3 years. 3 years becomes 7 years. The business is still in an idea. When will you start taking your health serious? Later. Oh, when I finish this project. Oh, next quarter. By I would have finished this project. So by next quarter, who says you can't be taking care of your health while you're doing the project at the same time? It was the model we were handed over to. Oh, I will exercise when things get less busy. But life never gets less busy. Oh, when last did you call your parents? Not because they needed money, not simply just for you to hear their voice. Oh, I've been busy. Or who says we can't call and still have the cherished loved ones together with every of your schedule? It's still possible. So we're under the model and we have normalized it later. So we keep postponing different things, right? You see some, as a parent, for instance, your children they don't have the privilege of seeing you because, oh, well, that is busy. And then, when they ask you, you say, oh, well, I'm doing it for them. But you have forgotten that the children are growing up, but they won't wait because you are busy. When last did you read a book that was not for work? Or when last did you learn something because it will just make you wiser? Not because you would earn from it or another certificate, just to make you wiser. When last? So we've postponed unconsciously, we postponed the concept of life, and we say later, later, later. So we've become experts in that. This is why we're here. And again, this is a burden for me because time does not wait. Time does not wait. Life doesn't reward what we intend. Please take a note of this. Life does not reward what we intend. It responds to what we build, right? Oh, it's not just about intention. It's not about intention, right? This is a challenge for you and I. And I'm about to show you something right now. These old models we have received, and you see, one thing about it is that if you don't be on a call like this to say, I want to really check what models have I been running with, maybe I don't even know. It comes to conversations like this when you sit down amidst the hustle and bustle and say, hey, where am I even going? What is actually directing my pursuit? What is that thing? Is it a wrong blueprint that I don't even know? Is it a wrong blueprint? There's no way you build with a wrong blueprint and try to achieve success in everything. No, it's not going to be possible. Imagine they make a mistake. They were building two buildings beside each other on the same site. One, they made a mistake using the other design to build this one. It's not possible, but that's what we are doing today. We are building our own success with the blueprint of another person. And with the various assumptions we've had over the years, the assumption of trade-offs, the assumption of later, and all that we have shared, right? I'm going to show you a video shortly, and I wanted to see something that is going to really help. Now, when I remember in my own journey as well, I was handed this model, but thanks to the fact that I had a superior model. I remember when I was, on my doctorate program in 2016, I was already planning to get married, right? I met my wife, Sarah, and I knew she was not a distraction to me, right? She was part of the purpose, right? So, but somebody gave me an advice and said, hey, why not just try to finish this PhD first, and then you sort out the rest things, maybe including the marriage and all that. And the counsel came from somebody who was really senior, and I really felt it was a sincere counsel. But when I reflected on it, I knew it was based on those old models, right? Where you have to choose one at the expense of another, right? And as you know how rigorous the doctorate program is. The minimum is 3 years, right? It could spill to 4, it could spill to 5. So I knew it was an old template. This is the old model where you have to choose. You have to choose between career success, marital success, academic success, and all that. But I refused to choose. I refused to trade off one or to postpone one. We got married the following year, continued my doctorate work, finished both. No need for trade-off. No need for trade-off. So the idea is not that if we're trying to postpone things, this is where we now start to come up with what we call the success driver method, saying that life is not boxes, right? It's not built in boxes. It's built together in harmony, in an integration. And I'll show you something quickly right now. So let me show you a picture of how this in more realistic way. It's like success is like a vehicle on a journey. Please stay with me. Success is like a vehicle on a journey. Now, this vehicle, starts to move, right? And there are 3 major parts for every typical vehicle. Number one is that the vehicle has wheels, right? Every vehicle should have wheels. And those are the areas of our lives, right? I'm going to lay on that shortly some more. Those are the areas of our lives that carry the vehicle of our lives. But beyond having the vehicle with wheels, the vehicle also can drive itself. When you're not trying to go on a journey with a vehicle you have to push. No, the vehicle must have its own drive, right? Something that propels it towards, where it's going to. Now, amidst the two of them, aside the two of them, something else is still needed. Even if you have a good vehicle and all that, you still need to know where you're going to. Nobody just burns fuel and goes and says, I'm just traveling 200 kilometers. I just want to burn fuel for 9 hours, 2 hours. Let me just enter traffic. I just like traffic. Have you seen anybody like that? Nobody. But unfortunately, you'll be surprised. I'll show you that that's how many people are living life. It's because this third thing is not there. What is the destination? Where is the vehicle ultimately going? Where is the vehicle ultimately going? So many people have good wheels and still they go nowhere because there's no drive. Some have plenty of drive. They still get lost because there's no destination. And you can know exactly where you are going, but still struggle to get there if your wheels are not working together. This is amazing. If I stop here, I've hit a good gush that will help you in your journey of driving all around success, right? It's so the wheels are there. Now let me show you in a more visual way. The wheels are there, which are like the various spokes of our lives, right? So even if you strengthen the wheels, the problem is not the problem is not about strengthening the individual wheels. If you strengthen your career and you don't strengthen others, there's going to be an issue, right? So we've been taught to strengthen individual wheels. You go for a career, you get a certificate on a workshop on this, you get this, then you go for another one on this. So we were building life in more of in isolation, right? And after doing that, it still looks like it's not all. You still feel some emptiness. You still feel there's still something I've not eaten, right? And the missing variable is this. The missing variable is that most times it's either of these two or a combination of these two. That picture of what is all of this driving to, that orb is not there, to galvanize all of them. What am I driving to? And then the destination, where is this vehicle taking me to? So even if you have tried to do, a lot of self-improvement for your finances, your marriage, your health, your career, your this, your that, if you are still not sure where you are driving to, there's still going to be that emptiness. And if you also don't have something that drives you every now and then, you'll be basing it on, motivation, willpower, and that may not come every single day. So here is how the master key looks like. In the full picture of it, the vehicle is there. The vehicle is your life, my life, you and I. The wheels are the domains of our lives that carry the vehicle, that take us through this journey called life, right? Now, the drive is your purpose that propels and directs your life. And the destination is what I call your definition of success, which also takes its meaning from your drive. I'll show you an example now. So what does success mean to you? And I'm going to show you the video I want to show you right now. It's a short 1-minute clip. Maybe I'll play it twice so that you can see the message again much more. For some people and a couple of people, actually, our definition of success is also, defective. So somebody walked to my office many years ago and tells me, "Oh, well, Dr. Abraham, what does success mean? What are the metrics?" And it was difficult to answer him, not because I didn't have an answer, but because it's not a generic metric. What is success to me may be different from what is success to you. But we live in a world where, we are trying to compare other people and, what is success. Now, look at this. This clip I'm about to show you is a picture of 2 glasses of water, right? One is taking its meaning of success from externals. The other is taking its meaning of success from something else that is driving it. Let's watch this carefully.
Imagine 2 lives. From the outside, they may look equally successful, but something very different is happening on the inside. You can achieve everything you were taught to achieve and still feel like something is missing, empty, unfulfilled. But what if success could be driven by something deeper? When success is purpose-driven, life begins to feel differently, fulfilled. The difference isn't whether you succeed. The difference is what drives your success.
All right. Who got the message? I wanted to go to the chat. If you got the message from that clip, put a yes in the chat. If you got that message, put a yes in the chat. Who got the message from that clip? Just go to the chat and put a yes in the chat. Put a yes in the chat. Okay, I see you. Okay, Ralph got it. Ikem got it. Okay. Dara Simi says yes. Chibuike, yes. Okay, who else got it? If you want me to play one more time, let me know as well. But it's a very short message that summarizes everything I'm saying, right? It doesn't mean that the second glass is still having every other thing the first glass has. The only difference now is that everything is now. So, for instance, let me give you an instance. Let me give you just an example, right? In the case of the first glass, right? It gets the awards, gets the, he said, I want to live in this part of town. I want to have this number of houses. I want to have this and that. But they were not going to be the end. They were only a means to an end. When you have it, where is it driving you to? To what purpose? To what end? When the things become the purpose, then it's externally driven. It doesn't fill up. It's entering the cup, but it's draining out. It doesn't hold water like they say. But those same things come, but because something else is now driving you, those things are not like the purpose that you're not holding on to them. They still come. You still have all the amazing resources as you need, but you are using them in more context of something bigger than you. That's the two difference, and that fills up. So when people talk about the concept of fulfillment, is the fact that there's something that can fill you up to the full, right? And if your definition of success is based on material things and all of those things in glass A, it won't fill you. It will come in, it comes to your hand, but it doesn't fill your life. Did you see that? It comes into that life, but it doesn't fill the life. Unfortunately, that's just how it is, right? So I'm going to play it one more time. I think I see two people say play it again, and then so we just draw meaning from it again, and I proceed.
Imagine two lives. From the outside, they may look equally successful, but something very different is happening on the inside. You can achieve everything you are told to achieve and still feel like something is missing, empty, unfulfilled. But what if success could be driven by something deeper? When success is purpose-driven, life begins to feel differently, fulfilled. The difference isn't whether you succeed. The difference is what drives your success.
All right. So my question to us is this: what is driving you? Right? What is driving you? Think about it for a second. What is driving you? And so success is not first about achievement. So it's not first about money, titles, award, recognition. Those ones are outcomes. Success is deeper than the outcomes. Invariably, the purpose gives success meaning. And here's a little definition I've given to it, right? I think there's a material we had 3 years ago, Success Redefined, right? And this is even a new material. This is a new, definition I'm giving, different from what I put in that book. This is how I put it for this summit. I put it this way, and I say success is the completion of the purpose of your life. So you see why it's not generic to everybody. It's not generic. We don't have the same definition. Not someone else's. Not somebody's expectation. So as a parent, you are not cascading your own definition of success to your children. Not even your friend's timeline. Without that driver, any other thing that drives you still drains out, like what we saw. Right? So purpose gives the drive and the destination. And when if I try to use myself as an example, Dr. Abraham, what does success mean to you? Well, success means fulfilling my life's purpose, that very reason that God designed and created me. What does that look like? Raising leaders, molding minds, doing what I'm doing now, helping people discover their God's purpose for their lives, designing learning experiences that transform lives, equipping people to build and lead awesome lives where every area grows together. While doing this, all the other things will come, but that's not my own metric for success. So it's not just simply about the volume of money or the businesses and books. Those are the outcomes. Those are not the core. Those are not the metrics to define it. You see the difference now, right? I know this is mind shifting, and this is a good place for us to begin, right? What this does is that it gives you a lot of rest, not to be like a desical. It removes overwhelm, and it helps you to put things in perspective, right? Suddenly you see that you are not in a bad place after all. Suddenly you see that, you are on the right track. And then easily you can now measure what is not in full perspective, because you now know the right definition. And it's good I say this also again, that success does not drive itself. It's not self-driving. Something is always driving it. So even if you don't know what is driving you, something is driving it by default. Like we know, for some people it's money. For some people it's applause, it's recognition, comparison, fear. Do you know fear has driven some people before? For some people it's pressure. But that the pitfall about those drivers is that those drivers can't help you succeed in everything. Those drivers are isolated. You do one thing and you spoil other things, right? The ones that helps you to succeed in everything without sacrificing anything is when purpose is the driver. A true meaningful life is driven by purpose. So the question is not whether life is moving. The question is what is driving it. What is driving it? You would have had me share my bicycle story before, right? I was in GS3 ninth grade. My dad and I had struck a deal. If you were first in class, we're going to get a bicycle. And I mean, I was first in class, and he got me this brand new bicycle. And I was going up and down in town, just excited about it. It's Gaspar. I took it to the engineers, they fixed it. And one of those days I started noticing something about the wheels so much more, right? I noticed that there was a wheel and there are these tiny things they call spokes that connect to the orb. So before then, what I was doing was that once a spoke removes, I'll just throw it away. Another spoke removes. I mean, there were quite many on the wheel, so I just threw them away. Eventually, one day I go to my engineers and he looks at the rim and says, "Where are my spokes?" And I was like, "Okay, I mean, it's removed, and I could just move away." And he now start to explain to me and try to now fix the rim, put new spokes there, that this rim will get spoiled if these things are not there. If other domains of your life are working, some others are not working, it's still going to affect the life in itself. And I just started to get a more bigger picture to life. And, it helped me to understand what I'm sharing with you a lot much more. And that was even the foundation of building the life harmony architecture framework. And talking about that orb, that orb looks small, looks tiny, but all the spokes connect to it. All the spokes connect to it. And one thing, we can't talk about purpose as the destination and driver and for the meaning of success without actually talking about the orb. Right? So this talks about knowing actually the one who designed you, that very essence that gives meaning to life, the architect of the universe. He knew your purpose and your design, right? So that orb is the spirit of man that connects you back to source, that shapes your identity, shapes your conviction, shapes your values, shapes everything about who you are, and helps you to harmonize and hold together all domains of your life. So this is how it works. Let me show you pictorially, right? The spokes are like each domain or sectors of life. They flow from the center. They draw strength from the center. They draw clarity from the center. So you're trying to ask yourself, oh, okay, what is the next role I should have, right? Oh, you should draw that clarity from the center that is connected to your physical well-being, right? It's connected to that center point. Your community of friends, mentors, proteges, neighbors, connected to that. Your continuous growth, the flourishing of your mind is connected to that orb as well, right? Your careers, the work you do, the businesses you run is connected to that orb, right? What about even your emotional well-being? Guess its meaning, guess its strength from a strong orb, right? How about your finances? It makes more meaning because you know what to steward your resources with, you know what to be generous for. It gets its meaning from the orb as well. What about what environment helps me? What kind of environment will help me to achieve all of this meaning based on where I'm going to? You get that meaning from the orb. Oh, what about who should be my life partner? Who should I spend my life with? We must be going to a similar destination. I get that meaning from that orb. How about my recreation? What do I do to get rest and rejuvenate? I get that meaning from that orb. The orb holds everything together, gives meaning to each one of them. So each one is not making his decision, individually. Their decision is coming from that orb, because the orb is what is controlling every other one. That way, what it does is that the orb is so it's not a journey of balance. We've done a couple of training. People will say, "Oh, can you come and train us on work-life balance?" We accept it to help them understand the meaning. And after we start the session, we actually bust the bubble and tell them that work-life balance is an illusion. There's nothing like work-life balance. What I share and what I teach is work-life harmony, right? Okay, are you telling me that every other area of life I've shown us right now on the screen is not consequential, and only work is the most important one? So why are we comparing work to life? Everything is life harmony. Work is inside life. You see it now. Work is inside life. So the goal is not. So currently now I'm on this summit, right? I can't be with my spouse and children because I'm doing this experience life. Is that so? Right. So if my spouse comes to say, honey, I need you right now, it may not be possible, right? So, but balance says, give me equal attention to every domain of life. You see why balance is an illusion. Harmony says, Dr. Abraham is live on this call. When Dr. Abraham is done, he's devoting the entirety of tomorrow to family and marriage, because he has spent a weekend, full packed week or weekend because of different activities he's had. That's harmony. You see it now. That's harmony. So they all draw their meaning from that orb, and everything is revolving around that orb. So everything gets equal attention, not equal attention, rather, everything gets meaning and attention, right, from the orb. So you can succeed in all areas at the same time because of your central orb. Now, let me break this a little more down. What I try to now do was that I zone those 9 domains of life into 3 main zones. That makes it easier, right? Zone 1 is what I call the career harmony, and inside career harmony is where you have career, finances, your learning and growth. That's like your domain of doing. And that's where most people spend a lot of time. They focus more on this one. This talks about, how you contribute to the world, how you express your value to the world. That's the zone of doing. Now you talk about the relational harmony, right? You talk about your marriage, your family, community. That's the zone of bonding. How you now connect with the world, right? How you build meaningful connection and relationship with other people to fulfill the same purpose of where you're driving to, because you can't do it alone. You now come to the third zone of lifestyle harmony, right? And that's the zone I call being. And I mean, if you've done a lot of work in psychology, neuroscience, you know that you already know that being supersedes doing. Actually, being is what controls doing. So most people are trying to do, but they have a wrong frame of being. You can only do what you have settled in your mind, in your unconscious, right? So you talk about your emotional well-being, you talk about your mindset, you talk about your attitude, your physical health, your recreation, your environment. All of those things help create and your unseen world, and then the health of all of those will now help your physical world that people see. But that's actually most of the time the zone most people neglect a lot much more, because people can't see it. And everybody wears a facade that looks good every single day, and then you don't know that this person is not doing well. Health, emotion, health, no rest, everything is all down, right? This is how it looks like. Now, this helps me to now begin to get to a crux of our conversation, to ask you three key questions, and I want you to note them down and just reflect on them. I'll give you you're going to get access to the diagnostic, and that will help you even show deeper answers to some of these questions that we're reflecting on. First question is this: how strong is my hub? Right. So my mechanic one time, we changed the hub of one of the wheels of the vehicle, maybe a year or two ago. I can't remember now. And there was a lot of noise in the hub. I don't know anybody who's experienced that maybe your vehicle before. So he diagnosed that the hub was the problem. So we have to change the hub in a typical car. That's what, or the wheel now you now screw to, and the spanner. The hub must be strong. You can't make progress, move, and succeed in everything if the hub is not strong. If the hub is damaged, everything else will wobble, even when it looks fine on the outside. So this talks about that connection you have with your maker. And this is not even religion. This is just alignment, right? How has that given you a sense of purpose to life, right? How has that helped you to govern all the decisions of your life? How has that done that? Next reflection will be now talking about the wheel itself, the spoke of the wheel. Are they aligned and working together? Or have you made decisions in disarray, or you made those decisions to be aligned to the central hub? For instance, in your career, is your professional work a true calling, purposeful work aligned to your hub, or is it just something you're doing just to earn a living? Are you managing your resources with solid stewardship, generosity, right, and intentional capacity? Are you still learning, reading, and expanding and stretching your mind to think and solve problems in line with what you are sent to solve, the problem you are sent to solve, the purpose you are sent to achieve? Are you still doing that? You see it now. So most people stop learning after school because the learning was not connected to a central hub. So the learning was just in isolation. What about your relationship? Do you have healthy, growing, marriage or a courtship? Deep family bonds, right? Genuine friends who are aligned to where you're going to, not just friends based on proximity or convenience. Are you investing in contribution, stewarding other things beyond just your immediate self? This summer break, I try to see how could I, beyond all that God's helped me with, how could I also be a blessing to other people, right? So I still try to volunteer in some other things. Oh, okay, I could contribute to what you guys are doing. Okay, do that. Oh, you guys are doing this. Okay, I could do that. How are you doing that? Based on where you are going to. And in your health, for instance, does your body show up for you for where you are going to? Do you treat it that way as well to show up for you, right? Are you stable and whole, emotional wise? Is your inner world very fine? Think about it, right? Are you intentionally renewing yourself, resting, playing, resetting? I had a funny mindset shift around this many years ago. When I see people, just jumping around, jogging around rather, I just wonder, are these people are not busy? They must be lazy. They must have free time. I never knew that was a wrong definition driving me. So that area was not aligned. I never knew, right? You'll be surprised how many more people still have that frame of thought, right? How do you live? How do you show up daily? Is your private lifestyle aligned with your values? These are a lot of thoughts I wanted to reflect on. The last thought I wanted to reflect on, talks about this, that again, after all, what next? So for instance, you got a promotion, you beat the companies, you bought the houses, you earned the degree, you traveled the world, you increase your income, you grew your influence, your followers. Okay, what next? Then what? So I remember one time I was speaking with somebody who was at the departure lounge of life. Departure lounge of life is somebody who is in the night season of life. And at the night season of life, you are very reflective to life. And the person was talking about how, just shaking his head to say, don't do the mistake I did, right? After all, what next? There's still emptiness. You saw that video I showed you, right? There's still emptiness. Those things you thought filled you, they will drain out because they can't hold, they can't fill up. They were not meant what was meant to fill you. What fills you is something else, not those things. They can't fill. They can't fill. So success is meaningless until you know what it was meant to accomplish. Until you know what it was meant to accomplish. This is challenging and this is reflective, but that's why we're here. So let me begin to close my thoughts and show you what next that comes recommended, for us in this conversation. Now, I wanted to go to chat. I see a response. Tell me your thoughts so far. I like to read 1, 2, 3 responses. How do you feel? You want to describe it in one word? Somebody say I've been challenged. Somebody say, oh, this is. Just describe it with all sincerity, right? Use one word to describe your thoughts so far. We've had on this summit. Just one word. What's your thought? Somebody share with me. I'm just going to go right into the chat and read our comments. Thank you so much to everyone making progress on this. This is awesome. What's your thought? All right, I see it coming. Keep it coming. Praise says is blowing my mind. Okay, thank you, Praise. Okay, Alex, I dropped a message and say this is powerful. Please, let's keep it coming. I like to read it. Few more. Just one word, 1 or 2 words. Describe your thoughts and your experience. So, how do you feel? How is this helping you? Describe your thought. Describe your thought. And I just tie this together quickly, right? This is good. This is good. This is why we're here, right? There's something about the model. I'm going to just jump into that, right? Praise says this is a mindset reset. Yes. Having a deep thoughts about what I've planned. Amazing. Absolutely. That's me. Impactful. Someone said, Alex said deepening, right? So one of the tools we're gifting everyone on the summit call today is a tool that helps you to measure. So the idea is before you can build your whole life and build those spokes and the wheel, you must measure, right? Measurement makes things personalized to you, personal. You know what to do specifically. Just like I think that was Darasimi. You said it helps me to a deep thought about what I've planned. So that way you can personalize it to yourself, right? And that way you really get real results, right? Real results. Now, there are 3 commitments you can do if you have followed all that we've shared today. One is that you strengthen your hub, right? Another one is that you clarify your direction. And then another one is that you build intentionally. Preferably, I recommend you choose all the 3, right? And the reason is this: a blueprint that never becomes a building is just an interesting document. You know that thing where we've experienced it before. After you made a design for a client, an architect does the work and sends it, and you thought the client was going to call you, okay, let's build. 2 months, cricket. 2 years, cricket. So the client keeps this beautiful design that was done, but stranded, can't start it. So it's just an interesting document. It just keeps the building and they keep looking at it every day. The question is for every one of us on this call to build by strengthening your hub, right? Clarifying your direction and building intentionally, right? Building intentionally. Okay, I see some more comments. Ayobami says this is in-depth. Okay. Midos Global says I'm challenged. And as well, right? Alex's class is beautiful, right? So this is the diagnostic tool. If Praise, could you ever put the link to the tool in the chat? If you can scan the QR code, it takes you to getting this tool, the Life Harmony Diagnostics. It helps you to know the strength of your hub, right? The health of your 9 domains of life. And it now helps you to really know, okay, your action point. Okay, what's the primary growth area I should start to work on today? What's the primary secondary action I should start to work on? What's the tertiary plan I should start to work on, right? You are able to just know what to do. This is one of the benefits to everybody on your call, right? It's something we've built over the years, and you have an opportunity to have the first public access from today, right? And you can just be able to look at it. I don't want you to rush it. This is how it's going to look. So when you're working on it, it's going to look like this, right? After this call, So because it's not something you can rush, so don't rush it. Wait till we are done with the summit, right? And you'll be able to walk through it. It's required to come to a quiet place, spend about 8 minutes thereabout, and you can begin your diagnostics, right? He's going to ask you a couple of questions, right? And be very sincere with every question he asks you. Else you won't get a true diagnostic, right? Imagine you go to your doctor and doctor said, "What did you eat yesterday?" You lied and you say something else. When you're done with all that, it's just like a wasted effort. You said, "Do you have a headache?" You said no. You said, "Did you? What's your?" It's you have to be very sincere to get the best answer, right? And that's how the diagnostics work. So when we're done with the call, spend some extra 5-10 minutes and finish that through. When you're done, it's going to give you a report, and it's going to send it to your email, and it personalizes all that we have done. Tonight you can be able to see that very, very clearly, right? So here is the crux of our conversation. I've given you the blueprint today, and that's what everybody has seen. It's challenged you, it's stretched you, and I've also shared with you the diagnostics. Once you apply it, it's going to help you to review where you can start. But clarity alone does not build a life, right? You actually have to get to the construction site and start building. And that's why we are opening the doors to the fourth cohort of 360-degree success system to everyone who wants to get to the site and start building. I believe that the world does not need more successful people. In my opinion, it needs more old people, right? Not sacrificing this. So you see somebody you admire, maybe the person you even admire on social media is not old. You don't know, right? You don't know what they are struggling with. So the world needs old people who are built 360 degree, not just those who chose success in isolation, but all around success, right? And that's why we're opening the doors to Cohort 4. It's a guided 12-week transformational learning journey built around the framework I've shared with you, the life harmony architecture, and it will help you to align all the spokes, those 3 zones, the career zone, the relationship zone, the lifestyle zone, and helps you to ensure that they can all drive towards your destination seamlessly, literally on autopilot. And it's a very beautiful journey because it's been made easy, right? We've had people who've taken in the first cohort, the second cohort, the third cohort. It runs in 3 major zones, right? We broke down the 12 weeks into 4 weeks each, right? And the idea is so that you can give a guide on how you should go, right? When you're done with your assessment, for instance, you'll be able to know whether, based on my score in my assessment and the diagnostics and all that, which zone do I actually need to start with. It will show you. If it's career harmony, you can begin with career harmony. If it's relationship harmony, you can begin relationship harmony. If it's lifestyle, it will also show you, right? And so we spend 4 weeks in each of those zones of life harmony, right? And then at the month end, we have a live call like this. It's a coaching call, a Q&A call, right? And that really helps you workshop it. So we are beginning next week, Saturday, right? That's going to be our first kickoff call. And then you'll get access to the materials, right? There are self-paced courses you're going to take as well along. So you take the courses and you can watch those ones, take your lessons, fill your worksheets at your convenience. And then when we come into the virtual call at every month end, you can ask any other clarifications and questions you have, right? The more important thing is this: before strengthening the spoke, people just jump in to say, "Oh, I need to, make more money." So they quickly jump to the course on, career growth, for instance. Before strengthening the spokes, what we first establish, like what we've shared today, is that you must establish the hub. You must clarify where you are going to, right? And that's how we begin, right? And that's the part we're beginning with, next week, Saturday. It gives you clarity on where you're actually going. If you're not sure what's your destination, I know it's a body of knowledge that has been severely abused in the world, right? One opportunity I have and in my work is breaking it down, just like I've walked you through this concept tonight, in a way that it breaks down all of the the buzz around it, and you can really understand where I'm actually going to. You leave the call having a clear direction on your purpose and direction of life, right? And when you do that, then you now begin the self-paced courses. We go in career harmony. We have 3 courses that you walk through with that. It helps you to build your skills to transition. For instance, if you want to transition into the work that aligns with where you're driving to, you master how to do that. If you want to see, okay, how do I deepen my knowledge? How do I, earn more even while still driving to my destination? I think the old picture we're giving was that you can't earn from your purposeful work. People have to now drop meaning, and it's okay, let me first chase this. No, while you are going in this same direction, you make all of the impact if you know what to do, right? If you do the right work. And so you build all that intelligence as well with that. That's what that career harmony zone does. So we do that for the first 4 weeks. And And then we go to relationship harmony. There are 3 courses there as well. It helps you to really know how do you can fulfill this journey of success and purpose on your own. How do I build relationships with people, right? And specifically as well, how do I build a relationship for those who really matter to me in life? My life partner who goes along with me on this journey, right? We've had people who have suspended this area of life because they didn't get the full templates. They felt I need to succeed in career first, then and okay, 10 years after I'll think after marriage, and that was a very wrong model that they got, right? You're able to master that. Even if you're married already, how do you strengthen your conviction of your covenant of marriage as well? For decades ahead as you continue to drive to your destination. And then you close the last 4 months with lifestyle harmony. How do you sustain long-term success? How do you redesign the habits, the behavior that will shape your life, really, right? Your emotional well-being. People have healed from odds that they didn't know they had, right? Trauma that they didn't know they had. They've healed from that, right? So there are 3 ways you can join, right? If you are an independent learner, you just want access to the courses alone, right? You can choose the course bundle option, right? If you want a community of people like we're on this call to join you to learn together, all right, you can choose the core community. You know that you don't learn in isolation, then come into this way. You have access to there are also other bonuses for the core community. We run a masterclass series every month called Grow and Glow, right? You get into that as a bonus as well. In each of the courses, my books are in each of the courses as gifts already. So in each of the 9 courses, each course has a book gift already that aligns with whether it was on career, whether it's on relation, whether it's on finance. It cuts across that way. If you prefer a one-on-one personalized experience, you can choose the inner circle, and you have everything in court, but you just have the opportunity to we have a weekly WhatsApp check-in call, right? You also get a one-on-one coaching call as well with me, right? Praise, could you help us drop the link? You can scan the QR code. The link is going to be shared in the chat as well, and our communities, right? And as an additional support to you, right? To make it easier for you to take the next step, right? For everyone who has joined us today, we're giving you an exclusive 40% scholarship for this quad 4, right? And all you have to just do is to use that coupon code Success Driver 40, right? When you are checking out on Seller, right? This is going to only be available for 48 hours, and that will close on Monday midnight, right? And that after that, the scholarship closes, right? If you know that you are in a season where you want to stop merely trying to fix pieces of your life and you want to start intentionally building the whole life, I think this is an opportunity for you to continue that journey with us. We have people who have come in. Look at this, a story of Lois. I think I see Daniel on the call as well. I'll ask Daniel to speak. Look at what Lois came in for Quad 2. Lois said, over the years, I battled with low self-esteem, right? Trying to fit in, depression, and trying to understand myself. I was looking forward to knowing my relevance in life, understanding myself, and just having a guide. I was also looking to growing in all areas of my life. At first, I wasn't sure why I was registering for it, but now I'm super excited I did. I found purpose. My self-esteem is better. I understand myself. I bless the day my friend introduced me here. I've never known myself as much as I do now. I found a bearing for my life. I've built confidence, right? That's the outcome we're talking about, right? This is Maro Core 3. Maro said, I joined because I wanted to get clarity on what to do next, right? There's one of my book called The Next Chapter. People are stuck in, okay, what's the next? How do I know the next? She said, I had a lot of relationship problems and I was battling from odds. I got the clarity I wanted. It also helped me to forgive and to let go of past odds. It has contributed to my personal growth as I am more intentional, and has contributed to my professional growth as I know the career field to go. I saw an all-round change. That's the picture, not isolated change, all right? And it's been a life-transforming journey indeed, as everything began to make sense during the program, right? Daniel, I don't need to read Daniel's. Daniel, he was in Court 1, I think. Daniel, right? If you can unmute Daniel, Daniel could just share his thought. Daniel, are you there?
Hello, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Daniel.
Daniel could just share his thought. Daniel.
Okay, I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you, Daniel.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Can you confirm that you can hear me? Yeah, I can hear
Yes, we can hear you, Daniel.
All right. So I'll start off with a very, very brief story. I'm going to be very brief. Okay. So I remember my final year, I I was in a relationship, and my girlfriend at the time broke up with me. And please just stay with me, and you see where I was headed. And when I asked her much later, she said the reason why she left was because I was working too hard, And I remember the model that the doctor talked about earlier in the session. He talked about how we're looking at things in a linear fashion where you want to do this first, then you do that first, you do this first, that. So I was putting my work before every other thing, And I came across this program much later. I think several years later, I came across this program, and I started reflecting, and when I went back to that situation, I was able to say, oh, so this is what I did wrong, rather than carrying everything at once, from relationship, career to volunteering and every other thing. Instead of carrying them, just like Doctor said, within the hub and spoke method, I was doing everything in linear fashion, and it was costing me a lot. But going fast forward after that is one of those things that you don't really know that you need until much, much later. Now I'm older, I'm more mature, and it really, really has guided me. I'm more strengthening in my core. I have now defined my hub, and then all of the spokes of relationship, volunteerism, and different other spokes. Everything now connects to one. I'm more, my energy is more conserved. I don't just, because there's an opportunity here, I don't just put my feet into it because at least I have a better view of what I'm going. So if this is something that you're considering, even in the slightest, I want to tell you ahead of time that you're not going to regret it. It's something that has helped me, has helped countless others, and I'm very sure that it's going to help you as well. If you still have any questions and you want to ask me personally, my email is open. You can send me an email and we'll continue the conversation. So thank you very much, everyone, for taking out time to be here. And Doctor, thank you so much. God bless you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. Daniel, I've known Daniel for how many years now? I think one thing I try to do also with, sometimes I checked on him. I try to check on people as frequent as I can, even with my demanding schedule, right? And I remember giving somebody a call yesterday, and she was surprised when I called her, and I'm just trying to catch up. How are you doing? How's things coming? And I think one beautiful opportunity people have is really committing to what builds you, right? And in retrospect, you really be glad you did. Personally, in my journey as well, I've immersed in several rooms, several platforms, and when I reflect back, I'm like, oh, thank God I did. Oh, thank God I did, right? Even if I didn't know fully when I did, right? If somebody asks a question, I want to quickly answer one or two questions before we close, right? I think we have 5 more minutes before we close. You can scan the QR code too, and don't forget to use the coupon code when you are checking out Success Driver 40, all caps, no space. Success Driver 40 when you're checking out. You can just scan the QR code or head to abrahamocean.com/3ds. I think it's also in the chat, right? Don't forget, please spend 5-10 minutes before you go to bed tonight to get your assessment properly done. That helps you see the picture of where you are now, right? And then you can begin your journey to building the whole life, right? So if you want to speak verbally, you can just use the raise hand button. If you want to drop your question in the chat, please quickly do that. Anyone wants to just clarify anything, or it could be a clarification or maybe a comment as well. I think we'll just open that floor for that now before we close right now. This has been awesome. I want to celebrate everyone who's been part of the Success Driver Summit 2026, right? What I'm going to say in closing is this, right? There are a couple of choices before you, right? One choice is that you ignore what you have heard, log off, return to building with the cultural framework, postponing major areas of life. Another option is, yes, you've been inspired, you've gotten some clarity today, but you feel motivated for a few days and then you still go back, right? Another option is for you to intentionally build your life, right? By continue this journey. We call for complete diagnostic tool we've shared as well, and build a whole life, right? So don't just settle for what looks perhaps like a successful career when you have an opportunity to build a whole life. That's what we have done today, and I'm inviting you to intentionally build a life we have talked about tonight, right? If you notice, it's nothing. You don't have to do anything to mark another birthday every year. Next year, you're going to be a year older. Is that so? That has happened before you marked your last birthday. You didn't need to do anything much. That part is settled, right? The question now is whether you'll be a year closer to the career that carries your purpose, to the relationships you want and you mean to build, to the person you know you are supposed to become. That one is a decision. It's not a resolution. It's not a plan. It's a decision, and it's a decision you can make tonight, right? The decision you can make tonight. I want to thank everyone for showing up, for logging in. I'm going to see a couple of us on August 15 when we kick off Quad 4. Okay, thank you, Alex says. Thank you so much for this session. That was impactful. Thank you, Alex, for being here. Right. So don't stop at being challenged. Don't stop at the great beginning we have started today. What we have started today is just sprinkling. You know, when you sprinkle somebody water, it's will dry up. Immerse yourself, right? Just get soaked into the experience. And I'll see you next week, Saturday, for everyone coming into the experience of the cohort 4 of the 360-degree success system. All right, so it's going to be a bye from here. Thank you so much, everyone.
Everybody wants success, but at what cost? More money, less peace, more titles, less time, more applause, less purpose. There has to be a better way. We were never made to live in pieces. We were created to live whole. Build a whole life, not just one part. Purpose before progress. God at the center. Step after step, day after day. This is the life we were made to live. Build a whole life, not just one part. Succeed at everything without sacrificing what matters most. A strong career needs a strong life. A growing future needs a growing heart. Where the center is strong, everything becomes stronger. No more choosing between success and significance.